blue sky smiling at me.
Wasn't Data killed while heroically saving Captain Picard and the Enterprise during the events of Star Trek Nemesis? And what about Lore? The last we see of Data's evil twin brother is in the debut episode of Season 7 of The Next Generation. Data, realizing Lore's bad nature, fires upon and deactivates his brother. Lore's last words were, "I love you, brother."
I love you, brother.
Lore was then dismantled and disregarded.
Lore is no longer functioning, sir. He must be disassembled so that he's no longer a threat.
So who is this guy? And what exactly will be his role and impact on Star Trek Picard Season 3? Things are not always what they seem, so you don't want to miss this episode. Also, stay tuned until later, where we'll show you how Manscaped is serving up a Thanksgiving dessert package for your package. And if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please do so now, and give us a thumbs up if you want more inside knowledge about your favorite shows. And make sure you stay tuned to the end to see how to get this awesome Commander Data graphic design featuring his loyal and true friend and cat, Spot, all from the amazing artists at mixtees.com.
Spot, a true and valued friend.
Who is this Soong android we see in the most recent Star Trek Picard Season 3 trailer? Geordi says it's Lore. It sure looks like Lore, with that angry grimace. Of course, whoever it is, they've aged with time, which is going to require an interesting explanation regarding which android it is. We can all agree stuffing a 71-year-old Brent Spiner into a 30-year-old looking Data during Picard Season 1 didn't look great. But don't take our word for it, Spiner himself said in a 2020 interview with Digital Spy that Picard Season 1 was likely his final opportunity to play Data. He said he wouldn't really entertain the idea of doing it again because he just didn't think it would be realistic. And because of this, we were all convinced Picard Season 3 would feature some new relative of Dr. Noonien Soong. So when we saw 73-year-old Spiner once again back as an android, we were surprised. But this white-haired android suddenly made a whole lot more sense considering Spiner's experience during Season 1. Did Dr. Soong have an aging chip up his sleeve? It seems as if everyone wants us to believe this android in the trailer is Lore. But if trailers have taught us anything, it's that what you see is not always what you get. Isn't that right, Jonathan and Brent?
Yeah, before Lore, there was before. Before is not in it. Lore is in it. Lore is in it.
So who exactly are we seeing in this trailer? Let's count our androids, shall we? There are 3 Soong-type androids that we've seen: Data, Lore, and B4. We were introduced to B4 during the events of Nemesis, as we learned that he was one of the 3 failed Soong prototypes before Lore was successful. B4 was not equipped with a positronic brain as sophisticated as those of his brothers, and had difficulty understanding simple concepts and processing information.
I do not know.
Data, hoping to give B4 the opportunity to expand his capabilities, copied all of his memories to B4 in an attempt to push the android beyond his original programming.
It is my belief that with my memory engrams, he will be able to function as a more complete individual.
Data, believing he was unsuccessful, would go on to sacrifice himself to save Picard and the Enterprise. So Data is obliterated, and we eventually learn during Star Trek Picard Season 1 that B4 was placed in storage at the Division of Advanced Synthetic Research at the Daystrom Institute. And in 2399, about 3 years before the events of Star Trek Picard Season 3, we know Jean-Luc visits B4's components, but that's where they stayed. Lore is a bit more complicated. We can assume he was stored somewhere, but we were never told anything official. Some people have suggested Lore was kept on the Enterprise D, but when Picard and Data find B4, Jean-Luc asks him if this can be Lore.
Fascinating.
Fascinating.
which indicated he isn't sure where Lore is. If we assume, like B4, Lore was also given to the Daystrom Institute, that would make the most sense. So with that in mind, when we see Geordi say Lore, are we seeing Lore put back together and somehow older? That's exactly what they want us to believe, but it's a whole lot more complicated than that. Before we tell you which android we think we'll be seeing in Picard Season 3, let me quickly tell you why you're going to love this video's sponsor, Manscaped. Think your holiday spread is good? It's time to give thanks to the Manscaped Performance Package 4.0. Or as we like to call it, the perfect package for your package. It all starts with their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer that features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. Plus, it's waterproof. You'll also get the Weed Whacker, a 9,000 RPM nose and ear trimmer to chop those uncontrollable hairs. The 360-degree rotary dual blade system provides proprietary skin-safe technology which helps prevent nicks, snags, and tugs to those delicate holes. And don't forget Manscaped's liquid formulations. The Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Toner Spray are like the pumpkin pie and ice cream after Thanksgiving dinner. You just can't live without it. And there's more. Lather some of Manscaped's refined body wash on their brand new Signature Body Buffer and exfoliate your mates. No hygiene routine is complete without Manscaped's signature deodorant, and you'll also get performance boxer briefs and a travel bag to hold your goodies. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code POPCAST at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code POPCAST. Be thankful this holiday season for the best gift of all from Manscaped. Your balls will thank you.
Why does the tall man have a furry face?
They have us thinking Lore, but before we jump to any conclusions, let's take a look at the data. See what I did there?
Boom. I've already established my authority through my amazing sense of humor.
That's right, we believe what we saw in the trailer was not Lore, but a combination of all the androids. Aside from the fact that Frakes and Spiner sort of give away the whole B4 part during the New York Comic-Con, Frakes tries to clean it up by saying B4 isn't in it.
Before is not in it, Lore is in it.
But Spiner says Lore is in it, but in a very complicated way.
Laura is in it in a very complicated way, which I think you'll find out ultimately when you watch the show.
At one point, when showrunner Terry Matalas tells Spiner he is playing Lore, Spiner says, "Am I?"
Lore. Played by Brent Spiner.
Is that what? I'm sorry.
But the thing that convinced us we were getting a hodgepodge of androids was what Marina Sirtis said Counselor Troy would be doing. She said there were wonderful things her character would be doing with Brent Spiner.
And there's some really great stuff that we have between the two of us.
As a counselor, what could be more wonderful than trying to put Data back together? That's right, we believe that we aren't getting Lore back, but some amalgamation of B4, Lore, and Data. And Troy will be responsible for trying to coax out the android who loves painting, playing music, and his cat Spot. But how is that possible? Because Data is gone, right? Not entirely. When Data downloaded his memories into B4, we believe that a copy of Data was made. The proof can be seen in B4's final scene during Star Trek Nemesis when he begins softly singing Blue Skies in front of Captain Picard.
Never saw the sun shining so bright.
We believe Data is right there in the positronic brain of B4.
He should have all my abilities.
Yeah, but he would also have all of your memories as well.
And as a result, we believe the next generation crew is going to need their old android friend, and Geordi will piece Data back together using parts of Lore and B4. To explain the gray hair, we believe it will be as simple as a hidden Soong aging chip so that his sons could experience what it would be like to grow old. And Brent Spiner could feel comfortable in character as he will be on the screen way more in Season 3 than he was during Season 1. Another indicator that the crew will need Data back is the appearance of Professor Moriarty, who was created by the ship's computer in order to beat Data.
Greetings, old friends.
Daniel Davis will be coming back to reprise the role, and if the crew has to face off against Moriarty, you can bet they're going to want Data there as well. If Picard Season 3 is a true send-off for our next generation friends, then it will be impossible to say goodbye without having Data on the screen as well. How he gets there could just be a plot all its own for Picard's final season. We'll have to wait and see how it all turns out, but one thing is for certain, the experience won't be something we soon forget. But what do you think? Will we be getting Data back, or do you think it will only be lore? How do you feel about bringing Data back after he's essentially already died twice? How do you feel about the gray hair? Let's talk about it in the comments below. Also, support the channel and check out this incredible Commander Data graphic design featuring his loyal and true friend and cat, Spot. Get 20% off your purchase by using coupon code ThePopcast. The link is in the description below.
Commander, what are your intentions toward my daughter?
Your daughter?